Brewers Log September 10th of 2020. So tonight I decided I was going to at least get something done. Originally I found that I have two coffee liqueurs that were hidden in the back of my shelves that I started over a year and a half ago that I was going to try the filter out, but I also noticed that at the pyment and mead that I started was the bubbler was looking pretty bad, and I decided it was time to rack it and see where it was at, considering it was made back in April and it set quite a while, and I figured it was definitely needed to get off or racked and see where it was, whether it was actually any good. So I do have a glass here that I've put some in. It does have a different a reddish color to it. At first, it kind of reminds me of like a root beer or something like that. But overall, it's my first thoughts was it was really sweet, and then I realized I don't know if I'm really sweet is the correct term for it, because it's almost as if I'm getting that honey flavor along with the grape flavor in it without the sweetness. So I'm not sure what to think of it. It is now racked. I don't have any other grape juice to top it off with, so I'm going to watch it for a couple days and we'll probably cold crash it and try to bottle it. But it has a very interesting flavor, and I want to try it actually cold and see where it's at and warm and see what I think of it. Overall, as I said, my first thoughts was it was really sweet. And then I kind of thought about it, and it's got a honey flavor to it, along with having some of that Concord grape flavor to it. So I'm not sure exactly what to think of it yet. I'm going to have to see after it sits a little bit longer, make sure it's not going to bubble anymore, that whether I reactivated the yeast when I racked it. The one thing I did notice is that I did not put anything on the bottle when I started this. So all I know is from rewatching my Brewers Log is that I started them on the same day as I did the ones behind it. So that definitely tells me it was started on 4/9 of 2020. So it's definitely long enough for a mead to get started. It may need to get bottled and then sit for another 6 months to really get that good mead flavor from it, because this was 2.5 pounds of honey that I used on it versus the normal 1 pound of honey I use with just a normal cider. So I don't know if the yeast puttered out. I know that a lot of times when I did meads a couple of years ago is that I would rack them and then they would go nuts again and a day or two later. So I will wait and see what happens from this. I'm thinking of following Jack Spirko's wisdom of topping it off with water just so that I have a full gallon and see where it goes from there. But that's what I got done tonight. Hopefully I will get to the coffee liqueurs in the next few days and find out where those are at after a year and a half. Usually by 6 months to a year, I've finished drinking most of my coffee liqueurs, and this time they got to sit that entire time. So I'm hoping they come out really good. We'll see from there. All right. So after tasting the mead a little bit more, I decided I was going to go ahead and top off the bottle with the reverse osmosis water. The two main reasons I do this is, one, I have a full gallon when I bottle, and two, this reduces the amount of air at the top of the bottle, so even if it doesn't really bubble up anymore and create too much more CO2, there's going to be very limited oxygen in there to possibly sour the mead or the wine. At least that's my understanding for doing some of the topping off of, is that it helps prevent some of the vinaigrine, and that happens at times, but I figure it's worthwhile just to add in a little more. But it was 2 full cups to get it topped off all the way, so that was how much I lost to the racking process from when I had it fully topped off. So at least I wanted to make sure that I said that I did add the 2 more cups of water to it, and we'll see if that changes it. Overall, the more I tried it, the more I actually like where the flavor is going. I do think that it'll need to probably be bottled and sit for or a couple months, but I do like where it is definitely headed. I like that fruity, a honey flavor that comes out of it. But the more I think about it, I don't think it is that sweet at all. It's just that that's kind of what that fruity honey flavor is making me think sweet, even though it's not. So at least that's where I got it by the end of tonight.